Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Reach Across Live. I'm your host, Paul Francis, and welcome to this amazingly hot, beautiful July evening I'm in Cornwall, but I don't know where the rest of you guys are, but it's so very hot here. Let's go into the chat room, see, oh my gosh, lots of people already in the chat room. Wow, you guys don't hang about, do you? Let's have a look who's come in first tonight. Denise, welcome, Denise. Kaz, keep going down. Lynn, Julia, alrighty. Tammy, welcome. Right, come on, well down. Tamara, welcome, Tamara. Eileen Blackman, look, good to see you back, Eileen. I forgot you. I know you did tell me your name last week, Style and Grace, but I've completely forgotten. Tell me your name. Julie Sharp, good evening, my darling. Welcome to everybody. Good to see you all. Thanks very much for being here. We're back for another Monday night, Reach Across Live, which is a night where I answer questions and do reads for you guys wherever I can. As you guys know, I don't have any control over who it is that comes through, but I don't respond to anything for me. That's one thing I don't respond to, because at the end of the day, it's all about energy, and if you can't be bothered putting any energy into it, why should they? Right, so let's have a peek. Tanya, of course it is Tanya. Welcome to the show anyway, my darling. Good to see you. And when my father was in hospital in the last days of 2021, I was trying to do a remote healing for him and saw a group of light beings around his bed. Excuse me. I can't really, let me just see if I can bring that up there. When my father was in hospital in the last days in 2021, I was trying to do a remote healing for him and saw a group of light beings around his bed. I realized after he had passed, they were there to take him, not heal him. Oh, Tammy, what an amazing thing to actually witness. The light beings would have been his family. And most importantly, they would have been the ones who were connected to him. If, for example, his wife had been in spirit. Tell me, who is the D connection? Like Daniel, David, Danny, who's the D connection with you? And your father, if your dad, either your dad walked in the same steps as your grandfather, his dad, but I'm getting, as I'm looking at your profile and looking at the words that you wrote, which are beautiful, by the way, I'm getting this Dan, David, Daniel, a strong D connection to be acknowledged. And then I see footsteps. And usually what footsteps means, they walk in the footsteps of. Okay, so I can be wrong. He could have walked in his dad's footsteps, or his son is walking in his footsteps, something along those lines. Davy Jones, welcome to the show. Okay, let's. I just want to hold Tammy there a minute while I'm looking at her. That's it. So I can look directly at your energy. I'm getting your energy from your picture. I get two men standing beside each other, and they're very, very happy, Tammy. The two gentlemen stand at the same side. So when the way I work is I look at a line like this. If they pull me left, they want me to go to mom's side of the family. If they pull me right, they want me to go to dad's. And they both stand on the right. So they both say they're from dad's family. So it's either your father and his brother, or your father and your grandfather, his dad. They want me to acknowledge. Footsteps then comes into play, which means that he walks in the line of, so in other words, he did what his father did, or he took over the business, or something along those lines. But walking means the same as to me. That's the symbol for walking, the same as. Now, I'm being told there were three elements to his crossing. So either he had three items that affected his body in a way that assisted his crossing. In other words, his pancreas failed, his lungs failed, things of that nature. Things of that nature would have been how he crossed over. But there's three elements to this crossing that they want me to acknowledge. That is an amazing thing to say. To say that they were there to take him over, to actually assist him to come over. That's really, really nice. Just jump in there with me and let me know what you get in relation to what I've just shared with you. I'm just going to come on back down here. And good evening, Gupta. Welcome to the show. That snuffling and shuffling you hear in the background is Holly, by the way. She doesn't know how to be quiet. Right. I just saw a word. While I'm waiting for Tam to get back to me, do people fall in love on the other side when their partner passes? Will there be there for no? You're thinking your assessment of life is based on this life, Julia. When we lose a loved one, I always tell Johanna, if she goes first, I won't be looking anymore. And she says, I don't want you to be alone. And I say, I just want peace and quiet. So she's in the room. That's why I've just said that. But no, it's what we call love is not what they call love. What we call love is being with the person you love, hugging a kiss, and just having that energy when you're around them. Now, multiply that by 1,000,000, and you're getting close to what they have. So they go back and are immediately surrounded with their friends, their family, and all the loved ones that they lost. So their search for love, as you're putting it, isn't in that context. But it's a great question, by the way, Julia, and thank you. Let's bring Tammy in again. Yeah, she says, yellow beings around, huge blue angel at his head. You're thinking of the D. Good. Do think of the D. There's a strong D. Daniel, David, Danny, strong D, Denise, even name that they want me to acknowledge. I remember when I say names, when I give names off, it doesn't necessarily mean them. It means who they are, who's with them, or they want me to acknowledge someone here with that name. Sue Vinicum, welcome to the show, my darling. Good to see you. Mr. Beanie, hi, Paul. Is that really your name, Mr. Beanie? Let's go on down here now. Claire Langdon. Claire, welcome to the show. Hi, Paul. Sue invited me. I'm her daughter, Claire. Well, Claire, you are very, very welcome, and the door is always going to be open for you. And thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate it very much. His father-in-law and his brother passed before me. Right, okay. Then he wants you to acknowledge the fact that he's with his dad. That's clearly important. It's really important because he keeps pushing that point across. So it's important that you know he's with his dad. So there seems to be a scenario based upon that he wants me to get my point across to you on. Jane, good evening. Welcome to the show. Okay. Wow, you're all coming in. Gupta, you say that to me every single week. Every single time I come on the show, is my dad around? If you don't know he's around, how am I going to know? Over there, Joe, on the stove. Massive heart attack was the ending. I'm getting weakness before that, Tammy. I'm getting weakness before that, and either he had 3 heart attacks, or there's 3 elements that brought the final crossing. Okay, so because he told me 3. Alrighty, let's bring this up. Hi, Paul. Not quite sure on how this works, but my son Daryl, gotcha. Was taken from us on 2014. He recently had a birthday on the 10th. I would like to know, was he with us for his birthday? Well, Tomorrow, I will definitely come back to you momentarily because I feel drawn to you. So clearly, I'm being pulled that way. Okay. The only name D is Deborah, my mother, that passed in 2000. Well, I would say that's a big D then, definitely a strong D. Then that was, okay, so he's with his dad, he's met up with your mother, and there's a party going on in heaven. And do you know what? I always say, I always bring my information across that way because, in a comedic way, because that's the way they want it. Okay. I was listening to a gentleman talk today, and he went through. Oh, when we're thinking we're having a bad day, we're not. Seriously, we're not. This gentleman is a nurse. Is I don't know if he still is, but he was a nurse. His beautiful wife had cancer, and they did all they could in the hospital for her, to the point where they basically couldn't do any more. His best pal had the same, an aggressive cancer. So what did this guy do? He brought them home to his house, set them both up, and nursed them at home. He had a son of 7 and a son of 9. Okay, so his best pal then passed. They had the funeral. His wife, his beautiful wife, the mother of the 2 boys, passed. They had the funeral. No more than 3 months later, when he's still in grief, a drunk driver drove across the front yard, right over the 2 boys, and killed them both, all within a space of 3 months. And he went, as you can imagine, he went into mourning beyond mourning. Okay, I mean, devastation, and rightly so. There's no way I'm going to go, oh, you shouldn't be doing it. Rightly so. I'd probably lose my mind completely. He locked himself away from the world, and he even got to the point where he didn't want to see the world anymore. Then he painted his windows, so it was completely black inside the house. All he did was sit around, watch TV every day, and order pizzas. Didn't go to work anymore. None of that. Switched himself off from the world. In his words, he said, "I became totally and utterly useless." Then something happened. And here's the bit that caught my eye, because my daughter Maya, my baby girl Maya, used to come to me and often talk about the sparklies. Okay, these sparkles appeared up in the corner of his house, and then these 2 voices come out of it, and he said they sounded like young executives. They were really quite young, and they told him off big style. They went, "Don't you dare use us as your getaway from the world. Don't you dare. We can't move on while you're doing this. We need things to do, and we've got stuff to do, and people are relying on us to do things on the other side of life, and you're holding us here with this attitude." And they went through him for a shortcut, literally threw him for a shortcut, to the point where he went, okay, and he got up and he got himself together. He phoned in his job, said, "I'd like to come back to work." They hired him back on the spot. He then took all the paint off the windows, and basically the message was, don't turn your back on the light, because mourning is devastating to not only us, but to them. So what they want is us to live life to the max, okay? To when we go across, when it's our turn to go home, that we go over there with our heads held high, okay, and not in a negative, and we made something out of our lives. So in this case here, I would say he is bouncing about, Tammy. He's with his dad and his family, and that of that element. He's with his wife. He's with 2 other boys to the side. He's telling me 2 other. There's a James, a Jackson, or Jackson James, or there's a JG name that they want me to acknowledge. Now, Tammy, I also want to say you're going to be walking on familiar ground. They want me to acknowledge my feet are getting itchy. So that means to me that you're going to be walking on familiar ground. The opportunity for you to walk on a familiar ground, in other words, you're going home or going back to somewhere where you grew up along those lines, is something you cannot miss. Okay, you can't miss. There's more to it than just a visit. Alrighty. So make sure that it happens. Okay, my darling. Show me red roses, Tammy. They want me to pass down their love to you, but they're telling me to tell you not to give up. Okay, don't give up. Don't give up. So whatever it is that you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I've had enough of this. That's it. I'm not going to do it. Don't give up. It's not the right time to give up. Don't give up. Okay. Okay. You'll often hear me say, it's not my information. In other words, when something is given to me, I go, what? And I'm starting to assess it from my point of view, and that's wrong. It's not for me to assess the information. John Albert taught me, he said, you're the mailman, Paul, deliver the mail, don't read it. They're telling me to acknowledge a horse or tell you to watch out for the horse, okay? I hope that helps, Tammy, and thanks for being here tonight. Virginia Presswood, welcome to the show. Claire Langdon, you're welcome. Ravina, welcome to the show. Also, my brother, that'll be the guys to the side. Tammy, that'll be the guys to the side. Wow, he is bouncing with energy tonight. Bouncing. As a medium, Paul, let me just give that question up. As a medium, Paul, when you give readings and know what people are lying to you, how do you deal with that? I heard this the other night and was so wondering. Denise, that's a brilliant question. The thing about it is, I won't actually react to the person. I react to what's being given to me. The person who's talking to me, I actually don't listen to. Be honest with you. It was like, look, Tammy there. Tammy was going, no, I don't know. And I'm going, there's a strong D. So I could easily, if I was a lesser medium, I could have went, oh, man, okay, maybe I'm wrong. No, I listen to them. I don't listen to the person in front of me. And it used to be, a lot of people, if you ever come across anybody who's had a read with me, you'll often hear me say, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. There's a massive difference. The only time a medium should ask a question is if they're trying to verify information, okay? And you'll hear a good medium will always deliver the information, then ask a question. A bad medium will ask a question and deliver the information. So it's very often the reason why I might say, what's that mean to you? Is because it's something that I've been given may mean something to me, but means something completely different to the person I'm giving it to. So when people are lying to me because they want to try and catch me out, who are they actually fooling? That's the question I'll ask. If you're not, for example, if I'm doing a stage show, and I'm talking to an audience of whatever, it could be 20 to 200, I often say, if you're here and you don't believe in the subject matter, then whose time are you wasting? Because you're not wasting mine, okay? If you don't believe in the subject matter, this is what I always say, Denise, and everybody else. If you don't believe in the subject matter, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. No problem. I don't care. Genuinely, I'm not here to convert you. If you don't believe in what I do, I don't care. I will go home at night and sleep. I don't care whether they do or not. I genuinely don't. And I always say to people who are extreme with me, the ones who are extreme, I always say, there will come a time when you will want to hear from me. And they go, oh yeah, when's that? I say 5 minutes before you die. Before you go across, you will remember me and you will remember everything I've said to you. And you will hope to God that I was telling the truth, which I do. So when they come to me and they're lying, I really don't care, Denise. I don't allow myself to be sucked under by negative idiots. There's just so much negativity in the world at the minute. And there's so much distrust, and there's so much, there's no level of, there doesn't seem to be very many levels of love anymore. The younger generation come up, they're growing up with no, I'm not saying everybody, I'm not going to tar everybody with the same bunch, but I see a lot of disrespect and that just, I wasn't brought up that way, and I find it difficult to deal with. So, um, Tommy, he had a heart attack. He had heart attacks before, but didn't tell anyone. Tommy, that's his way of proving to you, my darling, that he's talking to me. I knew he was sick, and I fussed at him and to go to the doctor. I completely understand that. I know my wife does the same to me. Exactly the same. Uh, men, men, we're idiots. We're just idiots. Great question, by the way, Denise. Now, who was it came to me earlier, and I said, please come back to me about your son. Whoever sent me a message earlier on, because the what I get over here zooms up too quickly and I miss it. So please come back to me again so I can help you with the information about your son. Also, my brother passed in 1999, and yes, you're absolutely. Gupta says sorry. Bless you, Gupta. Don't worry. Don't ask me, is your dad around? You should know. Okay, your dad has come and spoke to you in your dreams, which were renowned as visitations, and you seem to get a lot of those. Then what you need, and I gave you a really strong reading regarding your dad. That was verification that he'd come through. So stop being so tense and chill. Okay. Now, when you chill out and you relax, they come through a lot quicker. Okay. But thank you for being here, Gupta. I still think I like you. I do like you being here, and still be here. So, um, just want to read this one quickly. It's strange that I keep thinking I'm seeing people like. I'll read that again. It's strange that I keep thinking I'm seeing people like keep walking back and forth in my house. I know it sounds strange. I'm not sure if it's me wanting to see. No, well, that's kind of it can be a kind of bit of both, Kaz. But 90% of the time, no. Like before I come on here tonight, and you guys know I don't lie. Before I come on here tonight, I could hear just behind me here. I could hear that. I couldn't hear the words, but I could hear whispering. And there was about three people whispering, two of them prominent females, and I couldn't hear who they were, but I could hear. I was sit down to do the show with nothing more than "please be here" in my head. Please make sure you come here. Please make sure you come through. Please make sure you're clear, crystal, and stick to the information that they know. And that's what I get. Mr. Beanie says, "Does it mean anything seeing 111?" Yeah, that's a very, very strong angelic number. I can't call you Mr. Beanie. What's your name? It's a very, very strong angelic number. I had a, oh gosh. Okay, let me give you a heads up. My beautiful wife, Johanna, um, has stage 4 cancer, very, very serious cancer. 2 years ago, just before lockdown, she had the cancer went up into her brain and formed a tumor the size of a walnut, and we almost lost her. Um, it was then I was seeing loads of blue light, loads of blue butterflies, loads everywhere I looked. There would be a bus with 111 on it, or I'd look at the clock and it would say 111 or 11:1. And I kept seeing it, and that was the angels trying to let me know that everything's going to be okay and that they were around me. So, to answer your question, 111 is a very, very strong angelic number. Okay, and they're around. They don't just turn up for the heck of it. So they're around you for a reason. Yes, Tanya, that's exactly where I saw it. It was on YouTube. I very often, when I'm waiting on Joanna, if she's in a meeting or she's going to an appointment or whatever, I'll often just sit in the car and stick on YouTube and have we watch. Yes, I would say it is, Mr. Beanie. Help is on the way. Please give me your proper name. Tommy Jackson. Dad and I had a rough relationship. He was a narcissist and overbearing, me being an empath at a limit to my exposure to him. Right. Okay, let me just jump on that for a second. Everybody in the world, everybody is empathic. There's nobody who's not empathic. Okay, it's another word dreamt up by people, empaths, that just want to give a label to psychic or the psychic abilities. Okay, empaths feel the emotions of other people or the emotions of animals and so on and so forth. But I have never met a single human being who doesn't. So everybody is empathic to a particular degree. What was happening here was um, we often become overbearing. I can be overbearing, especially with my kids. I've got three girls and a boy. When I become overbearing with them, it's not because I want to be in charge, it's because I want to keep them safe. And we're in a world where you've got these gangs who are just grabbing girls the age of my daughter off of the street in broad daylight. They don't care. So we often become very tough as parents, and can be seen as being slightly narcissistic, but it's because we're scared. 99% of the time, it's because we're scared. Now, very often, and I thought, for example, to finish off Tammy's reading, I thought I was water and my dad was oil, or my dad was water and I was oil. We couldn't mix. I often thought that that was the case. And he was very, I could see his way being narcissistic in his own way, but it wasn't anything like that at all. It's because we were exactly the same man. We were the same person. We were so alike, we couldn't blend. And it was the last days of his life on here that we realized, oh my God, we're just the same person. Nothing to do with narcissism. It was just that we didn't know how to communicate properly. So you'll probably find, my darling, that now you'll be able to communicate with them a lot more. Wow, let's see what Virginia says. When my dad passed, I heard trumpets playing, and it was very faint. Was the angels coming for him? Right. I don't, Virginia, I'm not going to say no, it wasn't. I'm not also going to, equally, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say it would definitely be something that would be connected to a family or family members. Okay. Angels don't normally come and collect our loved ones. Our loved ones do that job. Okay. Because when you have, it's like, it's like sitting in a hospital, right? And a strange doctor or a strange nurse comes to get you. You're a bit trepidatious about it. You're a bit like, okay, well, you're dressed as a doctor, so therefore I should trust you. Okay? Or if you're sitting in a hospital and your best friend or your husband or your wife or your brother or your sister come to get you, you go, oh, okay. You don't think twice about it. So in the terms of when somebody passes, the angelic realm around the family more than the person who's crossed. They don't have to worry about the person who's crossed. They got to worry about the family and the shock and the mourning that they're going through. So they'll spend time with the family, but they don't help somebody cross over. Their husband, wife, brother, sister, cousin, friend, son, daughter, that's the person who will help them cross over. Right, let's just see what Ravina wants. I just want to say hello to the divine realms and my ancestors and the ancestors. Ravina, what a beautiful thing to say. Well done. I'm sure they're going to say the same things right back to you. By the way, if you've just joined the show, please, 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 it's really vitally important to the show. You hit that like button. So make sure you smash that like button. It's vitally important. All right? Don't hang around. Smash the like button and share the show. That's equally as important. Okay, so now stay tuned. I will be right back right after this. welcome back. Just to let you know that if you are a Patreon member, then you're in for a bit of a treat this week, as I'm going to be holding a seminar on Wednesday, which is called The Power Within. Now, if you haven't already signed up to my Patreon site, it is something you should get yourself over there to do as soon as possible. Here's the address. Now you can sign up on the free level, of which case you will be allowed to see some of the shows, see some seminars that'll happen once every now and again. But if you sign up to one of the tiers, which I advise you to do, the cheapest tier is only £5 a month. That's the price of a cup of coffee a month, okay? And you will get access to a lot more, including private Reach Across seminars or shows, where I will be sitting with all of the members of the Patreons and doing what we do, but it'll be private rather than the way it goes global here. So if you haven't already signed up, make sure you do before Wednesday so you don't miss out. All right. Tommy says, walking on the same ground, I recently went back home and I was handed the keys to the property over to my nephew after we spread mom and dad's. Right. You see, this is where the medium gets it right or wrong. So basically what Dad was talking about was you being on the homeland, spreading, it's from, when I say familiar ground, you went there. Okay, well done. So, and well done, Dad, for being so good with its communication. Excellent. I didn't get the chances to meet my friend in her worst of times. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to assume that your friend has crossed over, but so I am open for her to connect with me. Denise says, excellent answer, Paul. Thank you. As always, you're very, 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 very welcome. Oh, this is such a lovely thing to say. Love and light to you all in the chat. What a wonderful group this is. Well, do you know what, Tommy? You guys are the ones that make it wonderful. Thank you. And that's why I look forward to doing my shows every week. Right, keep going down. Make sure that you have liked and shared. It's really important. It's very, very important to the show. Is the music coming from your background? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ravina says, I don't even know what question to ask you, but I will sit here and just wait for the message. Just think of a question of what you would like to know, just anything at all. Maybe on the subject matter, anything at all like that, more like that. Dad didn't let me go. You see, that's what I mean, my darling. Probably frightened out of his mind of losing you. That's most likely. And sometimes dads don't know what to do. So we just do what's the first and easiest, best thing, which is keep you close, keep you safe. So what I used to say that, I used to have issues with my dad, and the issues were my issues, not his. But I heard from a specific motivator, Tony Robbins. He said, when you have somebody in your life who you feel has mistreated you, thank them. And I remember thinking, this guy lost his mind. So you've been mistreated and you want me to thank them. Because of that mistreatment, they made you stronger, tougher, and ready and more committed to take on the world. Wow, never thought of it from that point of view. So, a wee point of view to thinking of. That's so true. My mum was so scared of dying, but in her last few days, she was okay with it. And I'm so sure for her mum and dad were there. That's what happens. Usually in the last 2 or 3 days, they'll come and go periodically in the weeks coming up to when they go home. And the reason why I say, by the way, folks, I say they go home is because that's the message I've been given by countless energies on the other side of life. They don't tell me, oh, I died. They don't even associate with the word death. They like, no, there's no such thing as death. They never ever say, this is the day I die. They refer to it as a birthday or anniversary. They don't call the date that they passed their death day. They say birthday or anniversary. Um, but usually in the last sort of few days coming up to when they cross over, they will have a lot more people around them. They become far more calmer. They understand where they're going and when they're going to go and how they're going to go and what's going to happen. And usually they slip away with much ease. There will be those who want to fight and stay, and that's okay. That's a natural fear. It's a natural built-in fear factor. We have a thing in our bodies called fight or flight, and that kicks in. So but 99% of the time they just let it go and they allow it to happen. Mr. Bean, did you get any message from my friend? As I said, I am open to receiving messages from her, but I can't conjure her up. I can't go right. I want to be Mr. Beanie's friend. Yeah, first and foremost, I need names. I need your name, and I need more energy moving. At the minute, it's kind of like I'm talking to you through like there's a glass partition between us, and I'm not getting that link. I'm just going. I'm 100% honest with you. That's all I'm doing. Will you be doing readings? I've just done one, Virginia. I've just done a reading, so I basically I'm open to who comes through. I can't dictate who comes through, but if you want to get a reading, the best thing to do is get involved, get a mix going, ask questions, get involved with the energy, and it's likely you'll get a reading. It's okay. I thought I was hearing things. Well, no, okay. Best thing to do in that situation when you've heard voices or you've heard energies or you've heard sounds is to say, okay, if that's you, could you do that for me again, please? Like you're asking someone you love for help. Don't demand. They're not performing monkeys. They don't jump and demand. Um, Deal with them as my mom left me a message. She said to me, don't think of me as gone, just think of me in the other room and talk to me and talk of me as you always did. So she knew I would be rough with her crossing, which I was. I was rough weirdly enough, I was rougher with dad's crossing, but anyway. um, if you are hearing things, just say, hey, if that's you, could you please let me know by doing that again? And then you're getting what's referred to as intelligence response. Okay. Claire, who is in tonight, woke up to a figure at the end of her bed. She sat and looked at him and was like, oh, yeah, come on, Claire, come and talk to me about that. Come and talk to me about that, my darling. Eileen says, liked and shared. Thank you very much, Eileen. Denise, Paul, when you lose a child as miscarried, etc., do they grow up on the outside? Yes, they do. Absolutely. 100%. I have two in spirit that under that guise, two that didn't make it. What I found out over 40 years of being a professional medium is that their whole journey on this occasion was to touch the physical and go back. That's all. Okay. I've had countless moms in front of me who've lost babies. Now, the lovely thing is they show themselves to me as little sparkles. They're like, imagine seeing on a really dark October night with somebody at the end of the street who's got a sparkler. That's what I see, similar to that. So I'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sparklers, and then I'll say, okay, they want me to acknowledge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energies who didn't make it here, or who were stillborn. So very often, if a child is born and passes, say 1, 2, 3, 4, anything up to really 3, I get an energy talking to me, but doesn't have life history or life, experience. So they recognize as a child, but they'll give me like their life experience wasn't all that phenomenal. They didn't have a lot of it, so that would tell me it was a young child who crossed it. But they do cross and they do stay with you, and you will meet them again. That's all fact. My dear friend is being taken off life support. I'm sorry to hear that, Tommy. And had a recent stroke. I'm not sure what I'm asking. I just want her to have a good transition. I sent angels to her. I'm heartbroken, I cannot be there. Well, because you're not there in the physical sense, i.e., to hold her hand, there's nothing stopping you. Okay. Let's look at this from two angles. I'm going to look at it from the angle of a medium and the angle of a person. Okay, let's look at the angle from a person first. Okay, in the situation where your dear friend's been taken off life support, if you have friends and family who are there, then do a video live talk because they can still hear you. Okay, so ask somebody to do a video conference with you, or messenger, your video messenger. Ask them to put the phone by her head and tell her what you want to tell her. So it's going to be um, helpful for you to be able to do that. All right, because you'll be able to get that moment where you can say, "Listen, I know you're going home. That's okay, but come and see me." You know, Oddly enough, I told my dad the opposite. I said to my dad, "When you go, but I don't want you to go." And I told him that straight. I said, "I don't want you to go. I want you to stay here." I said, "But that's me being selfish. But when you do go, Mom will cross you over." Now, with your friend who's um, in the transition, because I'm not getting any energy that's crossed over connected to you on that level, um, take an opportunity to use technology to get whatever you need to say said. Now, speaking as a medium, all you got to do is close your eyes. Close your eyes, see her in absolute clear clarity. See her sitting beside you, and talk to her in that premise. Okay, keep your eyes closed, and in your mind, in your meditation, she's sitting right there, and talk to her as you would, and receive as you would. You got to do that. Okay, where are we? Daniel. All right, Daniel. Change your name to Daniel. Mr. Beanie's weird. But Daniel, what a cool name. Welcome to the show. Karen Blewett. Welcome, Karen. I'm so glad I was right. I'm thankful that they have Mom. You're welcome, guys. Her name is Dominique. Okay, Daniel and Dominique, double D. Oh. Okay, where are we? I will be open for Dominique to Okay, Daniel. Let me just go back up to where your name. There, I'm gonna bring that up so I can see it. Daniel, if Dominique is one of the three ladies that was here earlier, if it's her, then her crossing was effective. It affected one area in her body severely, and one area in her body which, weirdly enough, assists in her crossing. Okay, because what happens is I see a mental picture of a body, head, arms, shoulder, torso, legs, and then things like I get like pulses over it, boom, 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 like that. One area was affected by an illness, but it was the second area that then was affected that assisted in the crossing. If that's her, okay. And if it's her, if you're telling me her name is Dominique, she's not going by that name. I'm getting that she's not going by that name. She's either going by another name like like Dee Dee, for an example, something along those lines. Um, I just realized that music that you heard in the background was actually me doing a meditation. Sorry about that, my fault. So come back up to me on that one. Sorry, I'm not. I'm just looking through information that I think I've missed. So, and when I do this, then I'm just Just messing up the show, so I won't do that. So Daniel, if Dominique, I'm getting somebody are saying, or a person saying, that's not my name. So, where did I find that? Right. If I've missed your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because the messages on the side of the left side go so fast. I miss you. So please feel free to revamp your question. I'm more than happy to read it. You're not bugging me or anything like that. Tamara says that her son Daryl seems to make the dog go crazy. That's because the dog will react to him. They will, anything they can do to grab attention to let you know they're there, they will do. And if it is affecting the dog, making the dog go nuts, then yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. Claire, hi Paul. My wife woke me and said someone stood beside me. I looked up and I saw someone, but I got so frightened I think they left. Right, okay. Now here's the thing. Don't first of all, before I say anything at all, don't be remotely worried. Okay, if there's a negative energy in your house, you will know it. Okay, and you don't hang around in the dark. People always say to me, "How come spirit only visits us in the dark?" And I keep trying to say, it's not. They don't visit us in the dark. They visit us all the time. It's just that our senses are more acute in the dark. Okay, so your eyesight becomes more like peeled, your hearing becomes heightened, and your normal senses, that your other senses like your feelings, they become heightened as well. Especially when you see somebody who shouldn't be there, then the fight or flight kicks in. Now, I would ask you, Claire, to ask for that person to come back. Alrighty? Because that person left because they saw that you were frightened. Okay, they left because they saw you were frightened. I don't know if it's your dad that's in spirit, but I'm getting a fatherly figure around you. Okay, I'm getting a male above you and to the right. So it's a grandfather figure who wants to be around you, who wanted to be around you. Let's put it this way: I get a claiming. I get this to do that, which means she's mine. That's mine. She's mine. Okay, so they claim you, and which would mean of being your daughter, husband, or wife. I don't know whether your thoughts along the lines of, did I do the wrong thing? Did I do things wrong, or would he not have been like this, or whatever the case may be? Whatever that means, Claire. And I'm getting like, no, stop thinking like that. Stop thinking like that. You know, the love you have, the love you present, the love you give to others is what I see. It's not what you think I see. Okay? I'm getting patted on the shoulder. That's my symbol for pride. Okay? So that you know that he's proud of you and he loves you. But you're still not stepping up to the plate. In other words, there's more in you, Claire, than you either. You keep going. How do I put this without sounding ignorant or condescending? It's kind of like you only aim for second instead of aiming for first. You've got a lot more in you, and go after your dreams, girl. Go after your dreams. Go for your dreams. You can sit on your couch and have not achieved your dreams and said, well, at least I tried for them, which is much, much, much better than sitting on your couch going, I wish I had it. Alrighty? But he sees more in you than you do in you for some reason, and he doesn't know why. He doesn't get it. He does get the fact that you have his temper. Okay? He's shown me a white rose. Now, I will always explain what he's shown me, Claire. The white rose means to me, Paul, okay, it means an apology, okay? But the white rose may mean something completely different to you, righty? So whatever the white rose means to you, you are right. But to me, it means he wants to say he's sorry for not always being like being able to take care of you. Go do the things like I don't know. He showed me like walking, and I see a little like a stream. He's telling me to say, I'm walking by the. Is either walking by the stream or you were walking by the stream and he was with you. But I'm seeing like a mountain streamy kind of a thing, not like a river. But I feel so free wherever this is he's taking me to. Please come back to me on that, Claire, and let me know what part of that is not your understanding, or was I off by 3/4 of a mile? Oh, you're very welcome, Tommy. Very, very welcome. Daniel, whatever you're saying yes to, just Dodo. Right, gotcha. Because she wasn't accepting her name. She was telling me the other name. Right. Then she's around, buddy. Okay. Rena, please don't apologize. Don't ever come on to my show and apologize. The fact you're on my show, I am grateful. Thank you. Okay. I just want to finish off this reading for Claire before I move on to. I have a white rose tattoo for him. There you go. There's proof. Okay, that's who was in your room that night. Um, uh, but he understood that you were frightened, and there's nothing. Don't be going, "Oh my God, I scared my dad." No. He's shown me something. I'm a bit of a git, right? And one evening, in fact, there's a plan where I'm going to be interviewed, but my daughter is going to be the interviewee. Okay, in which case I'll ask her to bring this up. But there was one night in one of our old houses, and she and her sister were doing the kitchen. You know, we had an evening meal, and they were doing the dishes and tidying up the kitchen. And I'm a bit of a git, so I love pranks. So I sneaked around to the front, to the window of the kitchen where they were, and I jumped up and bang, 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 bang in the window. And Maya collapsed. She went, "Oh." Of course, it backfired on me. So I went, and I'm like, "Oh my baby, you know." Well, he's telling me that story or reminding me of that story. So his get out of there quick clause was because he didn't want you to be frightened. Okay, but you've nothing to be frightened of. Now, your dad would have protected you whilst he was here. He'll be able to protect you even more being over there. Right, my darling? But the stream is important. Whatever the stream is, it keeps bringing me back to the stream, and like I'm walking with you in my hand, but you're not very big. Okay? You got to rise to the occasion, Claire, my darling. Okay, you've got to rise up, and you've got to go for number one. Okay, go for first place. And we all have taken on jobs where we take the job on where we have to just pay the bills and so on and so forth. But if it's not fulfilling your heart, then you're not doing what you should do, because you will be able to achieve much more doing something you love, because you have to work less hard at it. Okay, you don't have to get up to work. You get up to do something you love every day, so you will be that much more. You'll be able to achieve that much more because there's no work involved. Hopefully that helps you. And the white rose tattoo, wow. That's all I can say. Does Bobo have any message for Daniel? All right, Bobo, come close then. You're kind of right, but you're wrong. Okay, you did say goodbye to her. Okay, there was some sort of goodbye that she wants me to acknowledge. Okay, there's a goodbye that she wants me to acknowledge. I kind of feel the fingers. You know, you hold on for the last second. You do that. There's something about that she wants me to acknowledge. Okay. Um, you saw somebody like her, either really, really, really looked like her. Okay, with about, I don't know, maybe just under a week ago, something along those lines, Daniel. Um, but she's telling me to say you kind of saw her, but she was there. There's also something about a reflection in a shop window, or a window that you want me to draw my attention to as well. It's about time you change that car, whatever that means. Okay. Did you write her a letter? Did you write a letter to her, expressing how you felt? It's something, whatever she's trying to show me, it's words of meaning. And why is she talking about college or university? She keeps going on about college or university here. And she's like doing the pom-pom thing. She's telling, the words I'm hearing verbatim, Daniel, is it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And she kind of was on the fence with religion and what I do for a living. She was on the fence. She kind of like, I want to go and see the meetings, but no, I don't know if I believe it. I'm kind of getting that feeling with her. And she showed me Cilla Black, which is my symbol for I didn't really believe that there was an afterlife. Lara says, we have a bench by a stream at Fingal Bridge. There you go. Okay, that's important because that's where he hangs out with you. Okay, because of the peace and the quiet and the energy that's there. And it's kind of like it's so fresh, and I feel free when I'm sitting there. So hopefully that is go there and talk to him. Basically, is what I'm trying to tell in my own inanimate way. Where are we? You saw somebody like her, right? This is such a cool thing. Okay, Daniel. When I say Daniel, I mean everybody in the room. I'm going to teach you a thing called overshadowing. There's a thing they can do called overshadowing, and it has happened to me. I was walking up Penzance Street. I don't know if you've ever been to Penzance, but Penzance has a street, like a way street, and then there's a sidewalk. The sidewalks are risen, they're raised up. And I was walking up the high walk on the right hand side. Well, if you're heading up the hill, I'm on the right hand side. And I looked over and I saw this lady, and I went, oh, Mom. And I was about to shout, Mom! Like that. And Shaman, oh, she's not here. I went, oh. And I went, bang, in the morning, like that. I went, oh, shh. Then I went, oh. And my medium training came back. And what they can do is they can see somebody look similar to them, and they can literally overshadow them so you see them. So they use the other person's features to get you to say, it's me. Right? It's a thing called overshadowing, and it's something they can do. And she's telling me that that's kind of like what was going on already. But she's telling me to look at a shop window, or looking at a shop window. Something along those lines she wants to draw my attention to. Or whatever she wants to take to make out of your car. Okay? Tamara says, does my son Darrell have any message for me? Now, the best thing to do, Tamara, is get involved with a question. So build up a question, build up energy. Rather than does he have a message for me? I need for him to come in and link in with me. So we do that by creating energy. I create it, you create it, and then he's able to use both that energy to come through. So come up with questions and something along those lines tomorrow, and we'll try and pull them through for you. Okay. Daniel says, I write messages for her still on social media. Okay. I don't have anything that says social media. I see it in written form. So it was an uncanny resemblance. You can be absolutely assured that's what they do, right? You don't have to write for her on social media, by the way, Daniel. You can write for her as in a letter. Let me just say, do that. Okay, there's no point in me saying there are more fish in the sea. Okay, there's no point because it's like at the minute it's water up and ducks back. But let me just say something. Let me do something here. Imagine Bobo was here and you were on the other side, and Bobo was in mourning, locking himself away from life, like I explained to that lovely gentleman the video I watched today. How would you react, Daniel, if you were watching her shutting herself away from the world and not really getting on with life? How would you react? How do you think she would feel about you doing that? Right. Right, I think I've actually got down. If I haven't actually answered your question, by the way, ladies and gentlemen of the world, please put it to me again. Tomorrow, I'm open to Daryl coming through. I'm definitely open to Daryl coming through. And I'm going to bring up this. There you go. I'm not lying to you. Unfortunately, it's not like McDonald's. I don't pull up to the window and choose whichever spirit I want to speak to. However, that being said, I want to say the person that is around you, the person who seems to be wanting to let you know they're around you at the moment, is coming to me on a pink line, right? Which means to me that's a maternal connection. It's a mother or a mother figure, or a connection on like an aunt level. Okay? When I get pink, I'll get pink or blue. Pink obviously means female. But pink for me, a pink line, which I'm getting a line like that, means to me maternal connection. And this lady should have been savage with her tongue. She would have told you what's what. Had a heart of absolute gold. Okay? I don't know where the E sounding name comes in here. Elizabeth Elaine. Excuse me. Elizabeth Elaine. Eileen. Strong E connection is coming in here. And remember, like I said earlier, who they are, who's with them, or please say hello to. This person is telling me that it's a common disease that crosses me over. So, influenza, bronchial pneumonia, something along those lines. Something that got too heavy on her chest. She, her body gives up and she's not going to have up, kind of thing. But he also points to a risk, which means to me, she just said, it was my time. It was my time. Your grandmother is that, and who's the E connection? Is your mom still here tomorrow? Can you come back to me really, really quickly, please, darling? As Lynn is, and while I'm waiting for tomorrow to come back to me, as Lynn is saying, please, please, please smash that like button. It's really important to the show. It helps the show a lot by you guys hitting that like button and sharing the show. And also, I need you guys to help me because I need to get the numbers up over 1,000 so YouTube allows me to continue to do my shows here for you guys. Alrighty? You don't know if your mom's not here? Your mom's here? Or am I misreading something here? your grandmother passed with a heart attack, right? Okay. Well, the heart attack was brought on with something like bronchial pneumonia, something along those lines. Okay, 'cause I'm getting a, um, it was a natural occurring illness that brings you across. First and foremost, all of your family are together in spirit. That's important. I'm being told to tell you. They're all here. Can you feel in spirit, says Eileen? Yes, I can actually. I've had um, several spirit entities walk right up to me, and I've caught it all. So, yeah, you can. Your mom's still here, right? Gotcha. Then it has to be your grandmother. It has to be. Either your grandmother's talking to me, or she's also telling me that she has one of your mother's friends or aunts or sister-in-laws that are telling me to say there's more than that there. Um, your son, okay. Just try to get right. I want to make sure it's at the very bottom with all the messages. Daryl, your son Daryl. I know he's here because I can feel him. I know he's here, but I'm getting like standing back. This feel of standing back. This is unique, and I'm just saying something, so I can give some, evidence to your mom that you're here, right? Either that you haven't done something and you've left something specific in his room, or you haven't done something. There's something about his room that he wants me to draw my attention to. Was he not the most worldly of guys? Would that be a good descriptive of him? I don't feel like he was bothered too much about the outside world. I don't really feel like he would have been, party monster kind of a guy. Very loving though. The yellow rose is important, Mom. Or he wants me to give you grief about your health tomorrow. How old was he? Because I don't feel a lot of I don't feel a lot of life in this energy. And if it's him, he's with his grandfather. He's with an older male. And where's the P name? Like Paul Pat Pete? There's a P connection in what we do acknowledge. And somebody crosses over in your family tomorrow that is it's an accident or incident that helps to get them to the other side of life. So, for example, if they were in World War II and they were killed in battle, that would be an incident. But there's something along those lines that I want to acknowledge. Tommy Jackson says, that happens when I try to connect with my brother. Everyone else comes through but him. Jerk. Actually, Tommy, that would be his way of playing with you to let you know he's there, because that's what he would have done here. So that's how he comes through. So that's cool. He was 20, right? I don't get a huge amount of life experience, okay, but I also don't get party monster kind of a guy. And I'm more of a maybe a group of friends that you could count on one hand kind of a feel about this. Liked by a lot of people, but sort of picky in who he chose as friends. Did he not die in his county or state? Because they tell me out of county. It's like I'm in Cornwall, he's in Devon or Somerset. Feels That's what it feels to me. Right. Here's the fear factor. I got it. I understand now. Right. He's really, really worried that you're going to go backwards. Okay. Tomorrow. He's really worried you're going to go backwards. That's why he steps back, because he's seen that you've made progress, but he also sees when you sit quietly on your own and tears. He sees that too. Okay. Um, he's telling me that you were wearing one of his shirts or one of his t-shirts. You've got nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. He's not sad. He's not in pain. He's not in tears. You've got nothing to worry about. Okay. He knows what he has to do now. He was murdered by some friends or family. Okay. So I'm getting out of state. Does that make sense to you? Understand? Okay. Was this never proved, Tamara? Sorry to be brutal here. I really am. But I'm kind of getting what I'm getting when I ask him, "Oh, is this true?" He goes, "To God." And that's their way of saying, don't ask me that. Right, okay. Remember the media. It's something when I'm on stage, when I'm doing shows, I always stand up on stage and I go, hey, you understand the concept, don't shoot messenger? Heard of that? Don't shoot messenger? Messenger. Okay, that's all I am. So I can only give you what they give me to give you. I can't make it up, and I won't make it up, and I won't stretch it to make it feel good either. He'll get it deliberately. So he will answer questions in certain areas, but he won't answer them in others. Okay? Tell his sister he was the one that was playing with the bed. Okay? With either the quilt or the corner of the bed. It was him. And she's keeping a better job of his room than she did of hers. If that makes sense. So she's showing him respect by keeping his room clean. I don't think it's the reason why I feel that he's doing that is, oh my, there's my darling friend Leanne Higgins. Hello, my love. Good morning to you, darling. And she's saying good morning to us, by the way, folks, because she's away the other side of the world in New Zealand. G'day, mate. Tomorrow, the reason why he's it's not cut and dried is what I'm getting. Okay, it's not completely cut and dried. I really need to do this in a different environment, to be honest with you, if I'm honest. Tomorrow, find my messenger, my Facebook messenger, and send me his picture through. Okay, I need to do more work on this. Yes, her mattress keeps going down. Well, just let her know that her big brother was just trying to let her know it's cool for her being in his room. Okay, that's where he's making me feel. He's telling me that you guys have something planned for his 21st. It was a plan for his 21st. Okay? He's shown me the yellow rose again. Okay, which means that means that when you show it to me over and over, it means more. There's more to it than just a symbol for me to say, "Be on top of your health, mom." There's more. The yellow rose is got to be something between you and him. Where are we, guys? I've got about 10 minutes left. If I haven't answered your questions tonight, please understand I'm not ignoring you in any way, shape, or form. I get told to whom I've got, who have to, you know. I always say those who get reading the messages are the ones who need them. So, anybody want to quickly ask me some questions before we go on? We zoom on because I've only literally got 10 minutes left. Excuse me, by the way, I'm not advertising. That's why I'm going to hold it in a way that it can't be seen. Jennifer GR, does Amanda, I'm going to assume that as Amanda, about that. I haven't gotten anybody come through by the name Amanda at the minute, Jennifer, but I will present it if she comes through. But the best way to do is get the energy flowing, ask questions. Okay. Darrell says, "This is me, Paul. Tomorrow my phone." Oh, right. I'm truly thankful for you. You're more than welcome tomorrow, darling. More than welcome. My bed shakes at night. I've always wondered who it was. He still wants to mess with you. I'm leaving my job after what? What, Leanne? After 10 years, am I making the right decision? Leon, you're one of the most level-headed people I've ever had the pleasure to call a friend. The most. You don't make decisions easily. You tend to overthink things, if anything at all. But there's something telling me that you're not going to leave totally. Okay? There will be, I got a feeling of in and out. Okay? But your decision making process is correct. It's right. It's the right time as well. Okay? But in order to keep you sane, there will be either another opportunity along the same lines, or you'll be going back in and out like on a semi-permanent basis kind of a thing. But I've got a funny feeling you're going to be home sometime soon. I've got a strong indication you're going to be home in the not too distant future. And if you do come home, make sure you call me. Leon, trust me, everything's going to be cool. You're going to be great. Claire said thank you. And the stream is where the bench for her dad is. But I'm so glad I could help out there, Sue. Thank you, and Mason. Hey, listen, I'm not even in the same class as you, my darling. Not even in the same class. You help so many people, hundreds of thousands of people over your time. You're an amazing person. I'm blessed to call you a pal. Very, very blessed. Thank you for being here tonight as well, by the way, this morning. Where are we? We are 22 minutes past, so I have literally 8 minutes left. If you guys want to ask me some more questions before I have to call it a day. Tommy Jackson says, thank you, Paul. You're very, very welcome. Eileen Blackman says, there's no L in it. Eileen Blackman says, I had a friend whose husband gave me the chills. And when I seen their wedding pictures, his eyes were with red and his face looked like the film was not developed. Why would you know why? I don't know why, to be honest with you. I won't ever lie about stuff like that. So you might be, were you not happy with this guy taking your friend away? That'll be the question I would ask. If you were sitting in front of me in my office, I'd be saying things, right, okay, let's look at this. Were you not happy with him? Okay. Was there a collective energy? You're seeing him? And how does he treat your friend? Does he treat her not so well? Does he treat her okay? You know? It's really down to that because our mind can play tricks on us. I always say that if you watch my show on a Monday night, I always say normal before paranormal. Okay, normal first before paranormal, because our minds can play tricks on us, and our minds can create situations when something happens that we don't really want to happen. So, scenarios can kick into play. But I just don't understand why you'd be seeing it in that way. I genuinely don't. I'd love to see the pictures that you say are distorted. If you have them distorted and you want to send me a copy over, I'll have a look at them for you, my darling. He was cheating on her, beating her up. Right, okay. Is this before you saw the pictures or after you saw the pictures? Now, see, this is different part of the story. The thing about it is here is if, for example, you saw wedding pictures and later on down the line he cheats on her, beats her up, you might have been being shown in advance by one of your guides, one of your family members to say, this guy's not going to be good for her. Okay? So you could have been given a heads up. That's what I'm saying. So in the terminology is you were like going, this guy's not, but it's too late to do anything about it because the deed is done. They're married. I wouldn't allow anybody to beat up. If there's something there that they have to see other people outside of their marriage, then there's something wrong with a marriage. Okay, beating up a woman, that's not something I'd stand for. I would definitely have in front of the law for that. When my brother was in the hospital dying, I was holding his hand. His son is now in his 30s, and he has the same hands. Don't cry, because they don't want you to be crying. They don't want you to be sad. They don't want you to be down. They want you to be happy. They want you to make this life really work this life to its absolute max. And when you go back over, when it's time for you to go home, which is not going to be for some time yet, by the way, Tommy, you can look at in the eye and go, yes, I lived life to the max. And they will want that to happen. So don't, it's good. It's better that you think back on them with fondness and happiness and the great things you shared than it is in sadness. It really, they pick up on that sadness. And it's kind of like what you feel, they feel. I deleted them because they scared me while they were still together. Gotcha. Is there anybody for your wife, okay? Well, the thing about it is, if there is somebody for your, okay, was Kay a little bit of well, pretty much tomboy in her very younger days, in her sort of latter primary school days, um, more so latter primary school days than secondary school days. I'm getting this kind of like playing in the mud jump about, had more in, you know, coming with mud than she did with makeup. Uh, I mean that with a giggle and a smile. If that's the case, then she takes after her grandfather on her dad's side. Okay. And as I pull in that energy, there is an immediate connection to either to one arm of the forces here, but I also see a World War II connection. But I think I'm seeing the Navy here. Okay, because I'm seeing like HMS Invincible. I'm seeing the Docks. I'm seeing stuff like that. Okay. So why am I being shown naval connections for A? Would be my question. I called the police on him, and she ended our friendship, which is that's very a common response, my darling. Very, very common. Son brings me so much joy. He makes me laugh. He has the same jokester personality as his son married to the Palestinian family. Then enjoy that time, because that's what they see above. And if they see happiness in the family, they're happy. Right, my dear friends and family of the world, thank you once again for being a part of Reach Across Live. I will be back Wednesday night for a seminar called Power Within. It is something I would really, really invite you all to be a part of. And come join me on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. But you have to be a member, a subscriber of the Patreon channel, which is going along the bottom of the screen, as you can see. If you're not in the Patreons, then you won't be invited to this. It's pretty much that simple. Okay. So make sure you're part of Patreon for that. You can sign up for free. My advice is to sign up for the minimum thing with £5 a month, and you'll be being made a lot more. There's a lot more happening. I'm doing a new series of moments, which will be only for my Patreon channel. So my advice is definitely become a member of Patreon. Please continue to share the show. Please, please, please. If you haven't liked the show, please like it. Share it with your friends, share it with your families, and get them all to subscribe. We need to get the numbers up over 1,000 so that we're allowed to continue on YouTube. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight. I really, really appreciate you all. I wish you all a wonderful evening and a great day, depending where you are in the world. And remember, communicate, appreciate, validate everybody in your life. So a medium like myself doesn't have to do it for you. Okay? Take the time now to let the people who are around you now know how you feel about it, and validate that, and live life every single day. Live it to the max. Because we don't know when we're going to home, no matter how good of a medium you are. Okay? Just enjoy every single day, and don't sweat the negative stuff. There's enough negativity out there to go on. Don't go looking for it. Look forward to seeing you all next Wednesday. Until then, stay safe and look out for each other. Take at least 15 minutes out of every day just for yourself. Just for yourself, okay? Take at least 15 minutes out of every day and enjoy it to the max. Good night. God bless.